Okay, we're up here in the layout room, and this is me coming out after the barn thing, but we're going to do another operations video, just going to keep operations video going here. Something I always wanted to do, and I come up here planning on putting, the reason why I'm doing another operations video before I even post the other one is because I came up here planning to swap couplers on some of the cars I got from Train Freak Hobbies a while back. I haven't bought anything from them in a while. But I got up here, and I am completely flummoxed, bamboozled. I cannot find the brand new package of couplers that I just got from Yankee Dabbler. They were sitting here on the layout, and I can't find them. They completely vanished. No idea where they went. I've looked all over the room. I cannot find them. So we're just gonna calm myself down by running some trains and recording it. So let's get another operations video here in the Baltimore, Ohio, Warsaw Industrial Branch, using New York Susquehanna Western RS1 number 238. Got two new locomotives coming on their way. They'll be here tomorrow. So the next operations video will probably feature them, but we're going to use the RS1 for today. Let's get into it. Here's an overview of our train. We have an empty TLNW boxcar that's going to the elevator factory. We have a load of coal going to the elevator factory. And we have a load of coke going to the elevator factory. I need to clean those loads so they're black again. Have a load of cement going to New York Concrete Pipe. It's going to go in place of that covered hopper there. We're also going to be picking up that gondola, which is supposedly loaded with pipe. Imagine it is. With a Sioux Line boxcar that's an empty, it's going to the freight depot ramp. That's going to replace some cars there. And then going to Montgomery Coal is the Seneca Valley car, and then the reason why that car is behind the caboose, that's their coal car that we had forgot a few switch lists back, and did not put in the train, so that's going to go on the coal trestle after we get these two cars off of there. So let's get to switching. So the first order of business, they're going to drop the our first order of business is to get those two coal hoppers off of there, off of the Montgomery coal. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull ahead of the Montgomery coal switch, and then we're going to back in, couple up to those two cars that are off spot, and then shove back, grab the two that are supposed to be unloaded. The loads are not removable in the BLI coal hoppers, I don't think, so I can't remove the loads on them. Alright, now everything's connected, brakes are released, and we pull the two empties out. And those two hoppers will be shoved across the bridge on the other side. And there they'll set the brakes, and actually going to shove those back more because the Crew has to get to that between those two B&O hoppers. There we go. We'll shove them back to there, and there we go. They're pulling away and to spot that car. And here comes that car we got a spot. That was supposed to be here days ago. What we're going to do is we're going to leave that car where the trestle would be. We're also going to disconnect the caboose and the Seneca Valley hopper and leave those there for while we're doing our switching. Now we return to our train, and what we're going to do next is we're going to move down to switching the elevator factory. The connection is good. We'll release the brakes and we'll continue on to that. Now with the brakes released, they're going to shove those two empties back across the crossing and right up to the camera. And there's good. Now they gotta pull those cars clear of the switch so they can get into the elevator factory. And shove into the elevator. They're supposed to shove. Why aren't they shoving? There we go. Shove them back a couple of feet to the coke hoppers. Look at that long line of cars to pull out of there. You got 6 cars. The oil tank car, which you can't quite see. The C&O hopper, which is going to be respotted. So is the tank car. That B&O coal hopper is being removed. Now, of course, we got to put that coal hopper with other cars to go, so we're going to couple that up to those B&O hoppers, the other offset hoppers. And so we've got 3 cars in our train to go so far. Now, that B&O gondola is going to be respotted. However, we got 2 cars to spot beyond that. Coupler, there we go. Both of those South Buffalo cars have got to go back to South Buffalo and be filled with coke from Lackawanna Steel. Okay, now we bring those South Buffalo cars back, and we're gonna have to release the brakes after a couple of us. We gotta shove this train back a ways. Okay, they're shoving these cars all the way back so we can get that Lackawanna boxcar into Warsaw Elevator Company. Okay, we've got a problem. We don't have enough room. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to take this Conrail hopper full of cement and put it down on the track to Marne, Colton, Oregon, and stick it down there temporarily. So we're going to take that down there, and it'll give us enough room to get the B&L hopper to clear that switch, hopefully. Because that Lackawanna car needs to go in there first at the loading dock. I was going to put it on Marne. We were going to put it on Marne Colton, but they decided, why not? Just put it on Montgomery Coal. We usually use that track for switching anyway. That'll be good. Put the brakes on that and uncouple. And we got that covered hopper full of cement. Way outside of its arrow, but hey, it works. Now we return down to the elevator company. Okay, now this is the interesting switching, because first we got the Lackawanna boxcar has to go in, and then the South Buffalo hopper has to go in at the coke pit, but then we can't put that in next to it because that goes to the coal pit. Go down here, that goes to the freight depot ramp, that goes back to Montgomery Coal, that goes back to Montgomery Coal to be unloaded next time. That goes back to the elevator factory. That goes back to the elevator factory. That's actually going to be unloaded. They got to move one of these things down. That has to go back in. So we're going to put the boxcar in. Then we got to put the South Buffalo hopper in, and then we got to put that back in, which that will go right here again. And then the C&O hopper we'll put in after that, and then we'll put the B&O hopper in, and then put the Continental Oil in. So from our vantage point on Montgomery Coal, we'll watch and make the switch over to Warsaw Elevator Company to deliver an empty boxcar to be filled with elevators. Very rarely do we get a boxcar to be loaded with elevators, and we're going to get a bunch of them in the coming days. Alright, there we go. That's ready to be loaded with elevators. Now deliver the load of coke. In there. Now they dropped off that load in there, and they're coming back to get the gondola. Bang! Back in the elevator company, we take the gondola. And the C&O hopper. Now those cars are dropped off, and we have just a couple more cars to respot in there, and then we'll be done with the elevator company. Now there's our B&O hopper that has to be spotted at next to the coal pit. And the last order of business at the elevator company is going to be spotting the Connex tank car, or Continental Oil Company tank car, back at the oil tanks. It's actually from the fuel company kit that is serving as Montgomery coal. There's that Conoco car. Oh, look at that. There's a Mini parked across the road. Riding traffic control. There we go. There's the oil returning to the boiler house. Here we have an overview of what's sitting at the elevator company. We have a load of oil, 2 loads of coal, a gondola is getting filled with scrap, a load of coke, and an empty boxcar that will be filled with elevators. Quite a diverse traffic amount there. Now for the next order of business, let's go out to New York Concrete Pipe. We'll get that Northern Pacific hopper that we spotted yesterday, and the gondola that's been loaded with pipe and emptied of cement. Collect those and take them down to our cars, and then we'll spot that Continental hopper. They've collected those 2 cars. I cut that from the recording just to save time. And they're returning back with the 2 empty, with the load of pipe and the empty cement hopper to couple them up to the other cars that are back next to the elevator factory. And here they come back from that duty. You cannot see the cover hopper that they have to spot at New York Concrete Pipe, but it's beyond the BL&E boxcar there. Now we're going to get our cover hopper and take that down to New York Concrete Pipe, and then we'll come back and get that B&O hopper that's now unloaded, stick it down with the rest of our cars, and be taking a cut of cars up the hill first. Before we do go down and work the freight depot. There's that cover hopper. And here they come back to grab that other empty hopper. Now they're going down to retrieve the rest of their pickups from Montgomery Coal, Warsaw Elevator Company, New York Concrete Pipe. They're picking up all those cars. They're going to bring them down to here so they can take them up once they get these coal cars over on the Montgomery Coal spur. They're also going to drop off that C-line boxcar on the Montgomery Coal spur just to get out of the way so they can take their cars up the hill. And they're back. I don't know if you'll see the caboose or not. Not quite. You can see the end of it. Little yellow end right there. And I'll pull clear and shove 3 loads into Montgomery Coal. And of course, an empty boxcar is going to sit there temporarily while we make a run up the hill to drop off cars for passing trains. Troops the camp to the time trailer recording this. I have no idea what happened, but it sound suddenly cut out and the locomotive wouldn't move. I don't know what happened. But, bang into the caboose. So the conductor loved that jolt. And we gotta pull all these cars out. We'll have 2 more to pick up. But we will handle those in a bit. Got quite a few cars leaving the place. We got 10 cars, I think. We got 8 on this cut, and then we'll have 2 more on the next one. Hey, you hear that? That's the RS1 coming back. Going back to grab that C-line boxcar and head down to the freight depot to do the rest of the work. 1 in, 2 out. Supposed to be 1 in, 3 out, but can't find another Great Northern boxcar. Bang! And when I take cars up the hill, I literally just take them off the rails, stick them on the layout, off the rails. Those are all cars that are being picked up. Except these are ones that have a couple that are swapped. These are all the cars we picked up, and they will be put back in their packages after the video's done. A little behind the scenes shot. And this is what I've been propping my camera up with. My phone up. Nobody said I'm a professional. There he comes. Doing scenery scares me. Yeah, recognize those cars? No, you don't, because that was the video that got scrapped because part of the footage ended up upside down. But those cars were spotted the first operations video I did this year that I had to destroy because it ended up with footage of, among other things, these cars being spotted with for some reason upside down. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to pull those cars down and we're going to stick them over there, next track, and then spot the C-line boxcar, and then we're done. Take those two cars up the hill, and they're done with their work today. And they're done with their work today. They'll be taking those two cars up the hill and coming back down and going home.